Welcome, parents, players, and fans of Mentor Soccer Club. I'd be remiss to say I'm an expert at video editing or audio management, and what you'll find is I accidentally deleted the start of this video and its subsequent commentary. While I'm not perfect, neither are our players, so as we continue to get better together, I'll be posting this video in its current state and figuring it out later.
And what I mean by kick and run is that if they get on the ball, they don't often look to pass to a teammate. They may just kick the ball past their midfield into our defense, which makes it difficult for our players to get the ball under control, escape pressure, and play our game, which again is more possession, quick decision making, and taking players on 1v1. Early in this one, we get a couple opportunities to play our game, which is building out of the back, escaping pressure. You can see here, our right back, immediately put under pressure, has a bit of a challenge getting the ball out. We get another opportunity to goal kick, and again, we do try to build out. What we'd hope to get from other players out here is more energy and creating options, helping our right back escape pressure and build out of our back. Every match is just small moments, successful or unsuccessful, that can really impact the player's confidence overall. Confident players, they'll play with higher energy, they'll go into the tackle with a bit more firmness, and they'll also take their players on 1v1s in more difficult situations.
Following that last comment, you could probably tell I'm already running out of things to say because I've already done this once before. So you might hear some silence, then we'll pick up with the stuff that was already done, and from there, close out this game.
And while we're setting up for kickoff, the camera appropriately pans to our coaches. I think we've done a great job this year of not joysticking players and yelling at them what to do and when. They're making decisions on their own, and when they do that and we celebrate success, you can definitely see a difference in the players' energy and thought process to do it again. To further that point, you'll see in a second, a player decides or starts to decide to play the ball back to our goalkeeper. Without us yelling no, yes, do, or don't, the player decides not the best idea. Unfortunately, he's stuck. He loses the ball, but our other player stays switched on and carries it forward. So ideally, we want to see players tackle, win the ball, and carry it forward. While that's not really the case in this run of play, what we are seeing is bravery from players to jump in and try and win the ball. And that's the first step to winning it and taking it the other way. Remember, we asked to play into the channels, so right here there's an opportunity to do so. Unfortunately, it's just missed because we weren't able to scan and go the right way. But we can fall back on our firm tackling, because you see, we're intending to win the ball and go the other way, and the tackling is relentless. Eventually, we do get this ball out, and it's all to do with our relentless effort to try and win it back. We've worked hard as a group to ensure we don't just kick it out when we have an opportunity to play the ball forward. In this case, it doesn't work out, but it's a great decision to try it. And again, even more examples of bravery, attempting to win the ball with genuine intent to take it the other way. We celebrate good decision making, and that's what you'll see here. The player makes a great choice to try and play the ball, and while the execution isn't there, the celebration is you tried to play it, and that's the right thing to do. I'll say it again, this is great officiating. While some refs might just put the ball down or kick it to where it should go, he's taking the time to explain why the ball is moving up and where it'll be played from. And while the camera inappropriately pans past all the players, you can still see we're quite nervous in these situations because this ball is going to bounce and we're not all that familiar with these types of situations. They end up winning the ball, we end up kicking it out of play, we're safe for now. This next bit of play is really indicative of the decision making at this age. Some players are getting really comfortable making great decisions, like splitting the defenders with a quick pass. This player explodes into the attack, only to find out he's outnumbered. His only choice is to go back, potentially play it down the wing, but instead ends up outnumbered and in a fight to win the ball back. And while I mean no ill intent with this comment, sometimes coaches can overcoach, giving players too much instruction and overloading their brains. Here we have another opportunity to discuss our defensive tactics on corners. We ask our players to let us know who they've got and how we know by pointing at the defender and ensuring their goal side. You'll see here our goalkeeper is getting jostled. That's something new we've seen this spring season. Before they switched kick takers, I began to let our keeper know, as we have, he's allowed to fight and win this ball. And I can't give this official enough credit. He calls a foul for jostling the goalkeeper and then explains to all of the players why he's making the call he is. This lets them know it's not okay to push the goalkeeper, even though they might be seeing it on Premier League match day. Sometimes as coaches, especially as former players, these are chances where we're building out and we might scream, "No, no, no!" But we want these decisions to be made. He could pass that ball to our midfielder, and he chooses not to. Unfortunately, they do get a good shot off on goal and luckily miss. Now we get a chance to see how confidence can really help a player perform. Our defender from earlier is trying to build out of the back, and in this case, does it with confidence. He plays it down the sidelines, we get control of it, and even after we lose it for a second, we fight hard to win the ball back. Another example of how we encourage players to stay calm in their own third and escape pressure, either with a pass or a great dribble. In this case, we play it down the sidelines, and our player isn't able to explode, but we did show intent to escape pressure and stay calm. If you take notice of our coaches, we're very calm as this ball is being played out of our defensive third. While the decision isn't great, we do encourage players to make these kind of decisions so that next time they're even more confident in this position. As mentioned, these are two teams who play very different styles of soccer. In this case, we play a through ball, and they try and kick it out. We maintain possession, and that's exactly what we want. Back to our official here. The throw is taken before the players can sub onto the field, and sometimes this is hard to wrangle the boys back together. He does a great job of instructing the players, calming everybody down, and just taking the throw again. At this point in the match, our opposition has descended to just kick and run. This is a dangerous way to play, as you can see by their own player taking some friendly fire. Our official slows things down, recognizing that the player was struck with the ball, and has everyone take a knee. Our official assesses the player, understanding that he wants to continue, waves off the coach, and we get right back to action. Okay, I have to admit, kick and run is not my favorite way to play this game. And here's another example why. It's a drop kick for them, and they kick it right to us. Another interesting thing to consider is once our players start to see kick and run, they then start to do it themselves. It takes a few players like our left back here who decide, I'm not going to kick and run, and really attempt to make a decision and play a pass. As we encourage our players to handle pressure, you'll see a player here who runs out of room but does a good job of protecting the ball and earns a foul. For players this age, it's hard to understand the concepts we teach and the tactics as far as where we're at on the field at that time. In this case, we're taking a free kick, but we decide to skip a few players and we almost lose the ball. But as we ask the players, we stay switched on, and here's a player who reads that throw in and explodes into the attacking third. One player staying switched on, all players stay switched on, and in this case, we earn a corner. Another attacking corner, and a chance for our players to attack the ball from outside the box. We liken this to an NFL receiver who's going for a jump ball, except in this case, you're trying to take that ball out of the air and put it in the back of the net. Field conditions what they are, we're not really getting good strikes on the ball. Energy in players can show up in a lot of ways. In this case, our players are energetic in the throw, and this is our player from earlier who's relentlessly attacking. This earns us another corner. Field conditions what they are, we're encouraging all players to try and take a corner today. This player sets up the ball on the wrong side of the flag. That's okay, we encourage him to switch the ball's side of the flag and play the ball into the box. Unfortunately, this ground is just too wet and muddy for us to get clean strikes. And while the field conditions aren't great for corners, they are great for really aggressive tackling where you can win the ball and it won't go too far away from you. In this case, we continue to be relentless and keep winning the ball with strong tackles. With a few minutes left in the half, it's a great time to talk about how we substitute players. In this case, we have a couple players waiting to get on, knowing that there's only a couple minutes left in the half. The players we're subbing on were just on the game to start, and at this point, there's only a couple minutes left in the half. So we've identified a few players who might just need a break to make sure they don't switch off and give up a goal. Here again is where our contrasting styles of play between the two teams can impact our team directly. We play a pass, doesn't go as planned, and as it comes back to us, we think kick and run, although that's not really a part of our game. It's a lot to do with this age group and the social situations they find themselves in. Sometimes just seeing another player your age make a play, you then do the same. Those late in the half subs we just mentioned show up right here. Here's one of them, standing on the ball, staying calm, staying switched on. And in a second, our other substitution is going to get the ball and play a quick pass. Here is where we're really encouraged by our players' tough tackling. This player goes in firmly, wins the ball, drives down the sidelines, and shoulder to shoulder with the player. That's good bravery. All the players know we're in the final minutes of the half, so obviously fatigue is setting in. And what happens? We descend into a lot of kick and run. As the camera continues to recognize how calm our coaches remain, even when we know this isn't exactly what we want to see. And here the nerves are very high, as it's a chance to build out, players are fatigued, and we haven't seen a lot of great play. Even our goalkeeper is playing a bit of kick and run, which this team would prefer. Paying close attention here, what breaks up the kick and run is a great decision to explode down the sidelines using pace and dribble. For our team, maintaining possession is a great way to play defense, so we earn a corner and we can see out the half. As coaches, it's important to focus on small wins. In this case, our players have all started to make runs from outside the 18-yard box, and it's only a matter of time before this ball is struck well and we start scoring goals from corners. Remember again those late half substitutions? Here's one, stopping a counterattack. This same player stays switched on, knowing the job's not done, and makes a tackle on the edge of the 18-yard box. And while that might have been a foul, it's outside the box, and we say, ball or man, never both. So after a pattern of play where we're playing mostly kick and run, we have an opportunity to build out. In this case, a good decision would be to play our left midfielder. Our goalkeeper could split that gap. He decides instead to play short, and that puts us under some pressure. Learning from his mistake, our goalkeeper decides this time to throw the ball out to the sidelines, which allows us to get into our attacking half. We encourage our players to make these kind of mistakes. In this case, our player is trying to win the ball and had an easy option, but unfortunately wasn't able to see it. We as coaches now recognize we're going to have to work really hard to maintain this lead going into half. The best way for us to do that is show how good we are at escaping pressure and get out of our own defensive third. Our goalkeeper is encouraging us by playing balls deeper into the midfield. Unfortunately, the decisions aren't happening quick enough, and we still stay stuck in our own half. I'll continue to express that the game has kind of descended to just kick the ball, run after the ball, kick the ball, run after the ball. Instilling in players that they can't switch off for an entire half or even an entire match really prevents these cadences from occurring where the ball is just back and forth and it's anyone's game at that point. We again have an opportunity to build out, but it's a free kick, and our players don't necessarily understand the concept of moving our build out up the field. It's something we're working on, and in this case, we should be able to just play a quick pass and build our way into the attacking third. We again play the ball long, which our opponent would prefer. They kick the ball out, and again, we start over. This is exactly why Kenston is our biggest rival. At this point, we've started to play the game the way they would prefer, and you can see they're getting way more chances and staying in possession much longer. Here's where our coaches really start to keep track of the time. Could this half end any sooner? One simple build out at this point, in the last 5 minutes or so, would have really calmed things down for our players and got us back playing our style of soccer.
So after a nervous finish to the half, we get to start again in the second. At halftime, we talked to the players again about winning tackles and going in with intent to win the ball and go the other way. The first half ended with a lot of chaos in the way we were playing. We had hoped that players would start to slow down, get control of the ball, and pass and move a bit more to start the half. Focusing on our number 9 here, the energy and effort from this player to start the half is great. Other players start to feed off this. Throughout the second half, a theme emerges where they're playing much more physical than we're accustomed to, and that starts to impact the way we pass and move. Because this team has started the second half a bit more physical than us, we start to see players jumping in the air and shielding themselves from the ball. We need to get back to bravery and intent to win the ball and go the other way. And while our number 9 started the half with energy, there are players you can easily identify walking, following the ball. After losing the ball, especially, we need our players coming after it with energy. Here's our number 9 again, getting up to full speed and playing confidently. And while the attempt to dribble there doesn't come off, the player keeps working, even after losing the ball. And while we have some players playing with high energy and confidence, they're not finding much success and they just keep trying. Here's another player who makes a simple error, and his body language suggests mentally he's starting to struggle. Again, this team has come out physical, and you can tell some players are rising to that challenge, and others are starting to feel a little more concerned and fearful when they're on the ball. Our player with the negative body language earlier, could he get to this ball? Maybe if he were playing confidently. It's clear to see we haven't started the half as we had asked, with energy and effort and genuine attempts to win the ball. They have, and that's causing sustained pressure in our half. And our hope is that players will sustain a bit of possession, pass and move, and find their way out of our half. If we were to do that, the confidence level would go way up, and we would start to see our players tackle better and play with higher energy. Our player with the concerning body language from earlier isn't playing confidently, and it shows up all over the field.
Just like our total team could do with a bit of confidence in passing and moving the ball and getting out of our half, this player needs to do the same. A bit of success, some self-talk, and really just turn the attitude around. And as the camera appropriately pans and covers the coaches, you can see we haven't started the half with enough energy. But our goal is not to yell and shout to the players to drive in this energy. We need them to make this decision themselves. Though it hasn't come off for our number 9 just yet, he continues to play confidently and positively and chase down every ball. We really could do with some sustained possession. Couple pass and moves, maybe winning some 1v1s. This will get our confidence up. Trying to score too quickly here just puts the ball right back into their hands. This year, we've introduced to our players the concept of the game encouraging you to work harder. So, certain points in the game will ask you, I need more. And in some cases, you can see here, players are answering that call, and others, maybe not. We haven't started the half with the energy and enthusiasm we asked, and they have. This has led to sustained pressure in our half. And if you've watched this sport, you know a goal is coming. So, from a coach's point of view, we have a throw in. We don't really take it seriously, not a lot of energy from other players to get open. And what we do is turn it over. We don't follow up the shot, and they have a simple tap in. For players of this age, these peaks and valleys are completely normal. Some of these players will respond to this goal and work harder. Others might start to get more nervous. These are just experiences they'll have to play through so they can learn to handle them better in the future. So now it's all about how you respond, both as a team and as a player. As a team, getting some possession, having some success, that will get our confidence up and we'll start to play better collectively. Some players might try and play their game, and in this case, dribble, beat a few players, and get their confidence up. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out, and again, how you respond to this is what every coach is going to look at. To understand what kind of player are you? Can you quickly forget your mistakes? Can you respond to a negative outcome and find positivity? Because throughout the course of a match, things will go wrong, both for you and for your team. How quick you forget and how quickly you can get your confidence back will indicate how quickly we can turn this around from a draw to a win. Escaping this pressure, sprinting down the line, of course would get the confidence up. But unfortunately, it goes out of play. How quickly can we forget this, switch on, and win the ball back? Our player from earlier with the concerning body language. Is he waiting for the ball to come his way and get lucky? Or is he working hard to win it himself and create a positive outcome? He gets lucky, ball comes his way, and he makes a brilliant turn. As he drives through the midfield, he has options and he plays one. This is a major turning point for this player. We're about 8 minutes into the second half. Again, we started a bit slower than we had hoped. We've just had a bit of success, and the team has gotten down into their attacking third. This is going to build our confidence up. This half hasn't started how we wanted, But our number 9 is unaffected. He continues to work hard and stay positive. A sub of this size could have been done immediately following the goal. It wasn't, because we want our players to understand they can play through it themselves versus take them all off after the goal and have their confidence be further shattered. As we mentioned earlier, this age, socially, players do what they see. So if some players are sad and down and in the dumps, well, then we might continue to play sad and down in the dumps. What we really need is players to find positivity, build their confidence up, and really impact our team in positive ways. You have to forget about the bad things that could have happened and get on with it. If you don't, we won't be able to turn this game around. With our subs on the field now, you can see how they're trying to play a different style of soccer than we saw with our previous lineup. This team's trying to pass, move, get the ball wide, and do some of the things we talked about to start the game and at halftime. A player takes someone on and plays the ball down the line. This is great stuff and great for our confidence. And instantly we see how other players feed off of these small moments of success. Here's our wing player taking someone on 1v1 and just continuing to fight and win the ball. This will build into further success. Now's a good time to talk about wins and losses, especially at this age. Players, of course, want to win, but we coaches understand that the game is just a matter of small moments collectively building to major moments that impact the scoreline. In this case, we've had some success, and that success is growing. We want to celebrate those small successes. The quick possession, right there, a player just winning the ball and trying to find a teammate, and especially 1v1s that you win. These are the small moments that build to a team playing confidently, and with that confidence, scoring goals. That makes the better part of 45 minutes of video and audio commentary. I'm going to fast forward to the end now because, again, I deleted the first 10-12 minutes of this video and its commentary. And in order to figure that out, I've just decided to post a video. So if you're looking for more commentary, fast forward about 8 minutes. 10 minutes.
There's about 10 minutes left in this one, and it's 1-1. Our players are starting to get fatigued, and some players have had success, and others not so much. And you can totally see in their body language which players those are. still 1-1. Remember our goal scorer from earlier? Well, at this point, they continue to play positively and play a brilliant ball down the sidelines after working hard to win it back. It's so brilliant a ball that it's able to get to our forward before the camera can keep up. He explodes into the attacking third, finishes far post. So now the score is 2-1. Some say the most dangerous score in this sport. Because if the other team were to score, they might have all the momentum, could put another one on us, and actually win the game. So our job now is to play great defense, keep the ball if we can, and survive. And with that, we'll hang on for the win. Mentor Soccer Club versus Kenston. Again, this team is our biggest rival at the current moment, and that's to do with how they play so differently than us. While that challenges us to think differently versus what we do in practice and in matches, the boys put in the effort, maintained their energy, though it waned, to finish the game strong and hold on for the win. So while there were moments where we didn't see what we had asked of the players to start the game or at half, the moments that did mattered. And that's how we came away with the win.